You are listening to the Digital Parent Podcast with your host, Ced Lewis.
Hey parents, welcome to another episode of the Digital Parent Podcast. And on today's episode, in recognition of National Bullying Prevention Awareness Month, we discuss cyberbullying prevention tips. I am going to give you my top 4 strategies for dealing with cyberbullies. It is important that we first define what is a cyberbully. According to the website bullyingstatistics.org, the following actions are defined as cyberbullying: sending mean messages or threats to a person's email account or cell phone, spreading rumors online or through text, posting hurtful or threatening messages on social networking sites or web pages, stealing a person's account information to break into their account and sending damaging messages, pretending to be someone else online to hurt another person, taking unflattering pictures of a person and spreading them through cell phones or the internet, and finally, sexting or circulating sexual, suggestive pictures or messages about a person. So before we go into those top 4 strategies to deal with cyberbullies, first, a quick word from our sponsor, mSpy. Parents, mSpy is the ultimate monitoring tool for all devices. mSpy remotely tracks GPS locations, calls, text, messages, WhatsApp, Snapchat, web browsers, pictures, and much more. With mSpy, you can also restrict unwanted calls, block websites, or even block apps. Go to mspy.com for more information. Okay, parents, the number 1 way to stop cyberbullying is to talk to your child. Very simple. Some of us feel that, a lot of insults shouldn't really bother our kids. They should be tough, should have thick skin. But we never know how incredible, hurtful some of these things that these kids are saying to our kids and what impact they may have on our children. And we won't know that until we sit down and talk with them about what's going on in their day-to-day life. And there's a couple ways you can do that. On the way to school or coming home from school, you can kind of ask your kids, how their day's going to school, what's going on with their friends, or you can have those types of conversations around the dinner table. And another component to add to that conversation is you want to determine what type of apps your kids are downloading on their cell phones and their tablets. The reason that's important is that you want to get that information and Google it. Whatever apps, if it's Musical.ly, if it's some new game they're playing, you want to download that app and you want to add bullying as a search term to the app name. And the reason that's important is that will give you information on whether or not kids are being bullied on that app. So if kids are being bullied on that app, you can circle back to your child, ask your child if any of their friends have been bullied on that app, which will open up that dialogue to determine if they have been bullied. That's why talking to your kids is the most important thing that you can do, the number 1 thing that you can do to stop cyberbullying. The second thing that you can do to stop cyberbullying is to capture the bully. Now, we're going to go through some ways that we can capture that cyberbullying. And the most tried and true way is that you have to take screenshots of all of the bullying that's taking place online. Whether it is in, the DM, direct messages, whether it's through text messages on your regular phone, whether it's on some type of stream on an app, whether it's on some type of social profile, whatever it is, you want to capture that information through a screenshot. And you want to upload that screenshot to a cloud-based server like Google Drive or Dropbox. This way, if the cyberbully or bully takes your phone, then you still have that evidence safely secured. And we highly recommend here at Digital Parents to use monitoring software such as mSpy, where you can really download that monitoring software on your child's phone. It's autopilot from that point on. Everything that goes on the phone goes to their cloud system. As a parent, you log into the dashboard, you get every picture, every email, every text, all the information that's taking place in different apps like WhatsApp, Snapchat. All the information will be in a nice dashboard for you that you can print off and report, which leads to the second part of capturing a bully is that once you capture them, you got to report them. And you can do that in several different ways. The first way is that you can report the information to the app itself. Snapchat, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram all have reporting features that you can report users who are engaging in cyberbullying and have those users banned. You can also report that same information to the phone carrier like Verizon, Sprint, those folks. You can make sure that you can report that information to them. We have all the information in our show notes. You go to the show notes, you have the phone numbers and the emails where you can contact the phone carriers. Most importantly, report it to an attorney. If this stuff violates any of the federal big-time civil rights laws like, race, religion, creed, sexuality, hate speech, you can report that and you can file a criminal suit and sometimes a civil suit for damages. There's been several lawsuits won across the U.S. where parents have collected information on bullies, turned to their attorneys, they prosecuted the bullies, the school systems, whoever allowed this cyberbullying to take place, and have won punitive damages. Now, I'm not an attorney, so this is not legal advice, but I will tell you that you can contact an attorney in your state to see what laws apply to you. Now, when it comes to reporting to schools, I don't advise that because a lot of schools have zero tolerance policies and you don't want your kids to get expelled if they're the ones that are the victim of the bullying. So what I would advise you to do is capture all that information through something like mSpy or through, Google Drive if your kids upload it to a cloud server. Once you collect it, take it to your attorney or talk to your attorney first, get the legal advice, then go back to the school and report it to the school. Because the problem with schools is they got to protect themselves first. If it's something that's very damaging, I've interviewed a lot of parents on the Digital Parent Podcast, and some of the things they've told me are some of the horror stories is that once they report the bullying, it intensified not only with the kid at the school, but also with the administration at the school because they were trying to protect the school from a lawsuit. That's why it's very critical that if you get the information, collect it, report it to your attorney first before you talk to the school. Okay, parents, the third step in preventing cyberbullying is to block/ignore the cyberbully. It's the most powerful weapon against any type of cyberbullying. You got to understand, cyberbullies, trolls, whatever you want to call them, feed off of attention that you give them or attention they get from others. That's the reason they do it. If you refuse to engage in that communication, then the behavior usually stops. So there's a couple ways that you can do it. What I like to do is let's imitate what the celebrities do. Whenever our celebrities are getting cyberbullied, what do? The first thing they do is they delete their accounts. And that's what I advise for you to do for your kids. If your kids are being cyberbullied, delete every social media account that they have, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those apps, delete them. Start over from scratch. And when you start over, you want to change the profile picture. You want to change the name. Don't give your name. Maybe give a name of a superhero character, something that you like. You want to start over in regards to your friends. You want to only follow the friends who are within your close circle. Those friends that you really trust, that you really talk to on a consistent basis. And why that's very important is that once you start over and only follow a small group of people, if that cyberbullying continues to take place, then you know that those people are within your inner circle that are actually doing the cyberbullying. And the other part of deleting your social media accounts, when you come back live again under the new name with new friends or the same friends, smaller group of friends, is that you want to make everything private. You want to make pictures private. You want to make your geotag private. So the only people that get into your stream are the people that you know. And those are the most important people anyway, because those are the people that love you. The people who you don't know, don't care about you. They're strangers. So you really don't want to put a lot of weight in what they're saying anyway. Like, who cares what they think, right? So those people don't really matter. You want to always keep your circle small. Now, outside your social media accounts, you want to delete your email accounts as well. If you're being cyberbullied through email, you want to make sure that, you create something that's new, unique, that no one's heard of so that the bully can't figure out your new email address. And you also want to shun the cyberbully if you particularly know who this person is. So if you see them in school, you don't want to talk to them. You want to walk in their direction. You want to act like they don't exist. Shunning is a very powerful tactic that's been used since modern time by all sorts of different religions as a way to ostracize people who weren't behaving correctly. And this is your way of standing up to the bullies by ignoring them, ignoring their existence. It's very powerful, very damaging. It's been known to bring bullies to their knees and to bring them back to become your friends because you were so creative and powerful in your shunning technique. Now, the fourth thing you need to do when it comes to cyberbullying is to seek help. And this may be the hardest thing to do because now we have to have an honest conversation with ourselves as parents. If we see or we come to find out that this cyberbullying has been taking place for a long time, and we start to see those physical impacts on our kids, like, we start seeing them become depressed, socially isolated, not wanting to go to school because of cyberbullying, that's where we have to step in and become big boys and big girls and get our kids help. That's where we have to go and get the help of professionals, to seek professional counselors in our area, because our kids may need that extra support to, increase their coping skills in order to deal with the bullying that's taking place. So either after you have captured the bully, blocked the bully, there still may be some emotional trauma that we have to deal with. And that's where I highly recommend that you seek out the counselors in your area that specialize in this type of behavior with bullies. So, hey, parents, those are my top 4 strategies of how to deal with a cyberbully. So if your child's being cyberbullied or if you know somebody's being cyberbullied, please pass along this podcast so they can get some quick information that can kind of help out their situation. And as a treat for you listeners, if you go to the Digital Parent Podcast homepage, there will be a free 7-day trial for mSpy that will allow you to download the software on your child's cell phone or your loved one's cell phone, and you can see everything that's happening on their cell phone to determine if your child's actually being cyberbullied. And we're going to make this free for the first 7 days. After 7 days, then becomes a paid subscription type services. But until that 7 days is up, it gives you plenty of time to go in, do a quick self-audit of the apps and the other different things that are on your child's phone to determine whether or not cyberbullying is a problem. As always, go to iTunes, rate this podcast. Let us know how you think. Until the next time.